What's a seemingly small, trivial thing that makes you instantly burn with the rage of the white-hot sun? When I try to call an agency, think CVS, FedEx, etc., that doesn't give you any chances to talk to a person and instead makes you pick from a drop-down menu, except none of the options apply to your situation. So you pick the one most similar, and keep picking the option most similar as the requests get more specific, hoping that at some point they'll be like, "Wow, you've gotten all the way here and still haven't solved your issue. Okay, we'll connect you to someone," but nope, they just kick you back to the main menu, 15 minutes of your life and you've gotten nowhere. I have a bunch. Buying scissors and they're in that godforsaken plastic package that requires scissors to open. Being at a friend's place and their knives are duller than a spoon. Being late. Going to the dentist early for my scheduled appointment and having to wait past it to get into the office. People who only order in food instead of cooking themselves. Finding a random piece of bone ribs that my cat had somehow gotten a hold of after I ate ribs or chicken. This has happened twice, how he keeps getting them. The existence of Russians in my country. A super wealthy woman who constantly complained to me that she is no longer in the one of richest people in the world. I was like, for the love of gosh, get some rich friends to talk about this with BCI. Mow your 100-acre yard and we hunt to stay alive while you sit here in your mansion planning which fancy things to buy next. But also I feel sorry for you and the best thing that could ever happen to you is to be poor and understand compassion. Mic drop. People who walk in front of you and just stops for no damn reason and wave their damn arms around, not caring if they might hit you or not. Or when you're in the grocery store and the person is standing in front of the vegetable aisle, looking without taking anything while you have to squeeze in because you want to get to the lettuce. You apologize for squeezing through but still gives you a pissed off look for reaching for something in front of them. That their COVID vaccine is gonna kill your children. Excuse me, sir or madam, excuse my confusion. It's so hard to tell under those massive rolls of fat that apparently you're cooking, if it can be misidentified as such, will accomplish the same ends pun intended for your massive small fry. What are their names? Oh, Elephantina and Rhinocerian are such lovely names and so original, and without all those ouchie needles and such. I work at a university in South Africa and the kids would walk around with their headphones on in the middle of the street on campus. When you shoot at them to get past because it's a damn street for crying out loud, they get this annoyed look on their face like, "I'm walking here." My friend was robbed one morning while walking to work. She had her headphones on at full blast so she wasn't aware what was going on around her. People who park their shopping cart in the middle of the aisle and don't move out of the damn way when they can see someone is wanting to get by. Also on the same note, the women that want to catch up with friends' family they happen to come across in the store and block up that area. BC, they all have their shopping carts usually empty except for a giant purse. X200B. I love my in-laws but they are very guilty of this. When people say blood is thicker than water, it means the exact opposite of how they always use it. It means the bonds of shedding blood together is thicker than those waters of the womb. It is a military phrase for brothers in war having more bonds than those of your actual family. I really hate people with messed up agendas and even more for those who twist things with meaning to manipulate others. When people keep saying the reason why vampires couldn't see their reflections is because it was backed by silver. I've seen someone call it the original myth and it pisses me off so much. This myth is a much more modern take on why vampires couldn't see their reflection. So when people online act like it's the truth for vampires, it makes me wanna scream. I know it's stupid but I can't help it. Lol. When my cat tries to eat plastic like we have money to pump his stomach every day. When my cat walks in front of me like we both have great life insurance. When my cat begs for my partner's attention but he's busy and I'm available just sitting and calling him to cuddle, feel him like chopped liver. When my cat. It's my cat. I love him to pieces and would die for this asshole though. Lol. Moms with strollers walking 3 abreast on a public running trail. An acquaintance was training for the Boston Marathon and running on a track, asked a group of moms to keep to the right repeatedly, finally ran around them off the track. She caught her foot in a hole and broke her ankle. Lost out on the race, and travel expenses. And she will have to work so hard to get her endurance back. The fucking dishwasher. I have to restock it, and clean so much stuff, every day. Some people just don't understand that the laws of physics still apply inside the dishwasher. I've tried asking, I've tried arguing, nothing works. So I just do it. But dear God, it annoys me so much that the best option is scrubbing cold grease off someone else's plate every morning. When opening anything always requires scissors or a knife. Those innocent peel here tabs on food bags never f***ing work and always require a pair of scissors to get them open. Ditto for packs of batteries and other items which are encased in NASA-grade plastic. But how are eggs, which actually are fragile, packaged? Thin cardboard. People who think rules don't apply to them. The three big ones are throwing cigarette butts out a car window, leaving trash in a parking lot instead of taking it home and throwing it out, and parking or standing in the fire lane in front of a store blocking traffic because they are waiting on someone or will just be a minute when I'm at the self-checkout register, the bigger one with conveyor belt, bagging my items and another customer starts to check out, their items merging with mine, not having the common courtesy to just wait a few minutes until I'm completely done. The worst of the worst is when there are clearly other open checkouts to use. People smoking. Like, why are you smoking while walking and everyone behind the person has to smell the stink? Or when the smoke right in front of restaurants, so every time the door opens, cigarette smell comes in. The worst is when I get stuck sitting next to a smoker on a plane and I have nowhere else to go. Bleh. An old lady said seriously? To me while I was driving into Starbucks. She parked so wide at the stop sign so I had to make an extended and super close 90-degree turn. Both our windows were down and as I struggled to make the turn she said seriously dude? And drove away. Like, lady, it's literally your fault when somebody asks me to move my car. There's really no logical reason for it, I just hate having to go outside and repark it. Especially if I'm at a party or gathering or something. It feels like it has totally broken the mood or any social momentum that I had when I have to leave and come back like that. When a celebrity who obviously does not work for a company appears on a TV ad for the company, and makes a statement about the company using the word we. For example, we've installed 100 million solar panels. Yeah, maybe the company did, but the celebrity making the statement didn't. When I'm walking down the main aisle at a store and someone just busts out of a side aisle without looking, and then they are mad at me. Yikes. On several bikes, I want to ram them hard. Also, I learned in elementary school to walk on the right. People be all over the place. People who cut you off then drive slower than you. Or people that just hang out in the left lane with a line of cars behind them that want to pass but can't. It's the principle of it. The lack of concern for other people. The obliviousness and selfishness it must take. When I need one small piece of information, like an address, and my phone decides it's not going to connect to the internet. Yesterday I pulled over twice to get the address and it refused both times. Apparently it only wanted me online while I was going 75 miles an hour. Living at the end of an 18-mile road that is only one lane in each direction, very limited places for passing, and the idiot in front of you is driving 10 miles under the speed limit. I'm referring to RTE12 from Southern Shores to Corolla, North Carolina on the Outer Banks. A cyclist riding 10 miles per hour in the middle of a 40-mile-per-hour road when I'm trying to get somewhere on time. We get it, you're better than us because you're taking the healthy option. We'll read about it on Reddit later when you complain that cars beep at you. Whistling. I guess it's a happy sound for some people, but I think it falls under the heading of misophonia for me. Something about the pitch or the static Y sound of the air sets my teeth on edge, similar to a dentist's drill. I think when somebody else decides to stay in the kitchen, when you're obviously cooking or doing a lot of meal prep, then constantly gets in the way, uses the sink the moment you're about to use it, or litters in the general kitchen area. People who take forever to order at a fast food joint. Like, I'm sorry, it's freaking MCDs. The menu hardly ever changes, you know what's on it, order and move along. I know it really shouldn't irritate me, but it does. I feel full Karen when I see someone wearing an adjustable ball cap backwards. I'm okay with fitted caps backwards, but that stupid window on the forehead triggers me. I'll write the wearer off as a complete idiot. Someone breathing unnecessarily loud, or chewing loudly or with their mouth open. I can't even eat in the same room as my husband half the time. The way he eats chews makes me want to punch him in the throat. Someone ordering me to do something while I'm either in the process of doing it or about to do it. I'm not someone who gets annoyed and angry easily, but for some reason that has always gotten under my skin. Telling me to do something as I am very clearly already doing it. I literally have to stop and do something else. It's just a mental block for me. I have left Toulon half mode because of this for 3 days. When you're driving towards a green light behind someone going slow, they don't speed up at all. Light goes red, then they pull into a slip lane that is a yield and get to go while I'm stuck at the light. Ordering family style. Why make a beautiful thing fraught with complex social considerations? And it's always the person with twice my appetite and a half dozen food restrictions who suggests this. People who don't bring shopping carts to the cart corral. Or even worse, people who try and almost make it to the corral but can't be bothered to walk 2 steps more to actually put it in the corral. People that interrupt the cashier when you're at the register or talking to a salesperson as though you are not there. I wanna go, excuse me, and get back in line and let me finish my business. People seeing that I am reading, and still trying to have a non-important conversation with me. No, I'm not rude for giving you short, one-word responses when you interrupted me. People who toss trash out of their car windows. Saw a guy at Sonic do this yesterday, tossed his trash, and then backed out of the stall and drove away. There was a trash can 30 feet away. People who think they're being efficient by backing into a parking space, but they are terrible at it and hold up other people trying to park. Not to mention they often take up 2 spots, having to click accept deny for cookies every time I visit a website. Can't we just store a cookie that remembers my preference? That's where they were made for. Not for the ad tracking. People who walk out in front of you as you are driving through a parking lot, who then proceed to meander across instead of putting on a little speed so you can fluff and move on. When I'm driving down a highway, using the cruise control, and a car passes me. Then, the asshole starts to slow down, so I have to disengage the cruise control and pass them. People who place their bottles perpendicular to the checkout belt at the groceries so they'll start rolling when the belt starts moving. Hate it! And train hey soul sister. Slow drivers in the left lane of a 4-lane road. Drivers who cannot maintain their speed while driving, fluctuating 5-10 miles per hour under and over the posted speed limit.